In this video, I am going to share the configuration of my 4K editing workstation. So let's get started with the CPU, the main brain of the computer. For video edition, most software will need a high number of cores. Higher frequency are always welcomed, but cores are the most important element. And AMD is providing great value for money when looking at this criteria. As I want my computer to last for a decade, like the PC I had before, and because the CPU is such a core element of my PC, I went for the AMD 3900X, which offers top-of-the-line performances. This is also the recommended CPU by Custom PC issue 197 of December 2019 for their 4K rig. And it is the most well-rounded CPU according to Gamer Nexus. A powerful CPU really makes video edition on Cyberlink, Adobe Premiere, and HitFilm Pro smooth and fast. Linus Tech Tips and Woo's Matt Johnson both did videos about building a 4K video editing workstation for $700 to $1,400 US. I'll add the links in the video description below. Both of them used AMD processors ranging from the 2600X, which offers a great value but is from the older generation of CPUs, to the 3700X, which I think offers the best value for performances. But as there was an offer on the 3900X, I went for it. And if you have a bit more money, just like Gamer Nexus, I would recommend the 3950X, which is just the best CPU, but beware that it requires a top-notch cooling solution. So now that we have the 3900X CPU, we need to choose a motherboard. As I said, I plan to keep this computer for about 10 years, so I need to future-proof as much as possible, which is why I went for the MSI X570 Unify. It offers 3 NVMe slots in PCIe 4.0, 2.5 gigabit per second LAN, Wi-Fi 6, no RGB, and great VRMs that will keep power stable and the configuration cool. Those features give me confidence that this configuration can be upgraded with faster SSDs if needed in the future. Having 3 NVMe slots is really important for video edition, as we will see later. For about 10% more, the gigabit Aorus X570 Master would add a 10 gigabit per second LAN port and even better VRM performances. But as it would exceed my budget, I didn't go for it. And if you're really on a tight budget, you can go for the MSI B450 Tomahawk Max, which can handle the newest AMD CPU for less than £100, but won't offer the features that I was looking for, such as 3 NVMe slots in PCIe 4.0. So now it's time to select the RAM. There are 4 slots available on my motherboard, so I want to split it in 2 in order to take advantage of the dual channel capabilities and keep 2 slots free for future upgrades, as RAM is one of the easiest components to upgrade. For quantity, I went for 32 gigabit, as it is perfect for 4K video editing, with a possibility to upgrade it to up to 128 GB if needed in the future. For AMD CPUs, 3433 MHz is the recommended frequency by Custom PC in their issue 197 with good timings, as the 3433 MHz offer performance close to the 3600 MHz memory without any overclocking needed and could save you some money. But as there was an offer on the Gskill F4 3600C 16D, I went for it, and I set the timings to C16, 19, 20, and 32 for the same frequency of 3600 MHz in order to improve the performances. There are many offers for RAM, so take the one that has been tested with your motherboard and that is on its QVL and that fits your budget. I will also link a tutorial by Hardware Unbox for memory tweaking. For the graphics card, things depend on the software that you want to use. I went for the GTX 1650 Super. It accelerates my encoding without being underused, as I think GamerNexus explained in their YouTube channel. You could also go for an RX 580 or even a RX 590, but those GPUs are a bit old and I'm worried about drivers support in a few years. The Radeon 5500 is equivalent to the 1650 Super, but it wasn't available when I bought mine and it doesn't offer anything more. If you use DaVinci Resolve, then a great graphic card is a must, and you should go for whatever you can afford, such as a 2080 Ti. The same goes if you want to play video games in high resolution. For storage, I went full on with 3 NVMe drives. According to Budget System, it is recommended to have one drive dedicated to your operational system and software. For this one, I selected a 1TB Edeta 8200. One drive is recommended for your project and media source, and for this one, as it is the most demanding one and the one that needs to be the fastest, because that's where you will copy your largest work files, I went for a PCIe 4 drive that was on offer during Black Friday, and I took a Sabrent Rocket 4.0 in 1TB. Finally, the third drive is to be dedicated to your media cache and scratch. And it is really important to separate your cache and scratch from your source files if you want things to run smoothly fast. For this one, I went for a 512GB Sabrent Rocket. In the future, I plan to add an archive drive, such as a Western Digital 4TB green. To power the whole configuration, I went for the Corsair Rm850x, as it was on offer during Black Friday and only a few more pounds than the 650 model that I would have needed. For PSU selection, Linus Tech Tips has made a great tier list, which I've linked below. For the PC case, I went for the Be Quiet Silent Base 801. I'm really satisfied with it because it offers everything one needs with 3 incorporated fans, compatibility with any kind of block at the front and at the top, and clearance for graphic card and CPU cooler are also great. I went for the non-windowed version as I don't care for RGB and want the most silent configuration. As I was worried it might get warm, I went for 2 additional fans, the exact same fans as the ones included in the case. And I positioned them at the front and at the top of the case. I might disable the one at the top as it is the noisiest, and my temperatures are quite low even when encoding. To increase airflow, it is also possible to take out the front panel, but I haven't had to do that, even when encoding videos. The dust filters are a necessity where I live, and they are easy to remove and clean. So I'm very pleased with the Silent Case 801. Even if I was worried it might get warm, as there are almost no reviews of the Be Quiet 801 case, and silence and temperatures don't usually go along. If you want a different case, maybe the Fantech P400A would be nice, as it is one of the most revered case of 2019. Hardware Canucks and GamerNexus made some videos about case performances, which I will link below. For CPU cooling, I hesitated between a water cooling solution and an air cooling one. I went for the latter with the Deepcool Assassin III, as it was on offer and recommended by multiple sources, including KitGuru. The Noctua NHD15 would have been an equally good choice, but it wasn't on offer at the time I bought it. From the test I've seen by hardware scientists, GamerNexus and Linus, water cooling isn't mandatory for standard usage. I'll link some video in the description below. In addition, very few water cooling solutions come with a good warranty, and I think the pump might be a bit noisy. Overall, the computer is really silent. I mean, I can't hear it when idle, and it reaches about 40 degrees Celsius, and when I encode, the temperature rises to about 70 degrees Celsius and the noise level as well, but it isn't noisy at all. And I will put some audio sampling so you can make your own opinion. In terms of performance, 4K footage can be edited and browsed through very easily. For encoding, it takes me about 1 minute of encoding per minute of footage from 4K to 4K. So I'm extremely pleased with the ease of edition and the speed of encoding. I'll add some benchmark results in the video. For the peripherals, I took an LG 27UL650 monitor, which has an IPS panel, and those are the best for video edition, thanks to their color fidelity. And I am editing 4K, so I took a 4K screen. And the LG 27UL600 or 650 have a very good value. They are very affordable, and that's exactly what I was looking for. For keyboard and mouse, I went for the best, as I took the Logitech MX keys and the Aorus Master. Those are just fantastic. Not good for gaming though, but great for productivity. The Logitech Craft might be a good upgrade, but I don't feel it is worth the extra money. I think that Logitech offers fantastic product and after-sales service. I've dealt with them in the past and I was extremely pleased. So I will detail all the components that I just said in the description below. And I hope you have enjoyed this video, you have found it useful, and if you did, just give it a thumbs up and check out my recycling content. And I hope you will have fun editing your videos with your own rig.